Isaac, Jacob, and the birthright, the family line that shaped God's people. A guy named Isaac lived in the region of Canaan a very long time ago. He lived there beneath a sky that appeared to stretch on forever over dry hills and tents that were dispersed all over the place. In addition to being a man, he was also the son of Abraham, who was known as the Kid of Promise. The fact that he was born to his parents in their old age, after they had waited for God for many years, was a miracle in and of itself. Isaac was the individual who bore the burden of a significant covenant, which was a divine promise that a nation would emerge from his family, a nation that God had chosen to bless the entire world. Isaac was a man who frequently went for walks through fields after nightfall in order to meditate. He was a quiet and introspective individual. Over the course of time, he wed a woman named Rebekah, whose bravery was the only thing that could compare to her beauty. But much like his mother Sarah before her, Rebekah discovered that she was unable to have children. For many years they did not have any children, and they watched the days pass with a sense of deep yearning. Next, Isaac prayed to God, and not just once, but with a dogged determination, and God was able to hear. Although Rebekah was able to conceive, this pregnancy was not a happy one. There was a struggle going on inside of her womb. She cried out to the Lord saying, "Why is this happening to me?" Because the battle was so strong that she was overwhelmed with emotion. And in response, the Lord said words that have reverberated throughout the ages. "Two nations are in your womb, and two peoples from within you shall be divided. The one shall be stronger than the other, and the older shall serve the younger." She delivered twins when the moment was right for her to do so. It was decided to give the first one the name Esau, since he was crimson and covered with hair like a garment. After a few moments, his brother appeared from the shadows, grabbing Esau's heel as if he were attempting to pull him back or drag himself forward. Jacob was the name that they gave to the second boy. Their journeys diverged from the very beginning of their journey. A hunter who cherished the wild, the excitement of the pursuit, and the seclusion of the wilderness. Esau developed into a man who was known for his ruggedness. He was appreciated by his father, Isaac, particularly because of the game that he brought home, which consisted of flesh that had been roasted over an open fire and seasoned with the flavor of the region. On the other hand, Jacob was a man who preferred to be in secluded areas. Observing, contemplating, and gaining knowledge, he remained among the tents. Rebekah observed him, and it's possible that she saw something more profound, a fate that was just waiting to be revealed. After a long day in the field, Esau came back home feeling both fatigued and hungry. The scent of stew, which was red, thick, and warm, seemed to be emanating from Jacob's tent. Although Esau made a demand for food, Jacob, ever the strategist, recognized an opportunity. He maintained his composure and added, "Sell me your birthright first." In a state of hunger and impatience, Esau blinked. "Look, I'm on the verge of passing away. I don't see the value in having a birthright." As a result, Jacob made him swear, and in that moment, Esau took away what was most valuable, his birthright as the eldest son, the inheritance of land, leadership, and most importantly, the blessing of being the one through whom God's promise would continue. He did this in a reckless and impetuous manner. After consuming the stew, he went without giving much thought to the transaction. However, a significant change had taken place. With the passing of one brother to the other, a sacred thread had been handed on. Isaac became older as the years went by. His eyes were less bright, and his strength started to go downhill. Sensing that the end was drawing near, he made a call to Esau. He made the following request: "Go, hunt game for me, and prepare the kind of savory food that I adore. In such a case, I will bestow my blessings onto you before I pass away." It was Rebekah who heard. She was able to recall the words that God had uttered prior to the birth of the youngsters. She was aware that Jacob, and not Esau, was the recipient of the blessing. "Bring me 2 young goats," she said to Jacob as she called him and told him the plan. "I shall prepare the food that your father likes the most. You are going to go to him and claim to be Esau, and he is going to send you his blessing." He hesitatingly spoke. "What if he takes a touch of me? I will face the consequences of my actions." Rebekah provided a resolute response, saying, "Let the curse fall on me." Thus Jacob complied. With the intention of imitating Esau's hairy skin, they wrapped goatskins around his arms and neck. As he dressed himself in the clothes that belonged to his brother, the scent of the open field clung to him tight. The food was then brought into the tent that belonged to his father. Isaac questioned, "Who is it?" Although he was blind and distrustful, it was Jacob who said, "Your son Esau." Isaac took a momentary pause. "Please come closer so that I can touch you." It was too gentle for Esau, but the hands and the smell were enough to convince him. He felt the scratchy fur and heard the voice for himself. Soon after he finished eating the supper, he extended his hand to Jacob and blessed him with words that sealed the birthright. "May the Lord bestow upon you the dew of heaven and the riches of earth. I pray that nations would serve you. Exercise dominion over your brethren. In the same way that those who curse you will be cursed, those who bless you will be blessed." As Esau came bringing his catch, Jacob had just about left the tent. His heart was eagerly anticipating the moment when Esau returned. Nevertheless, Isaac shook severely when he presented the food to the audience. The question that he posed was, "Who was it that brought me food before you came?" I bestowed blessings upon him, and he will in fact be blessed. The scream of Esau shattered the entire camp. "Father, may God bless me as well." On the other hand, it was finished. Isaac could only offer a secondary blessing to Esau, despite the fact that he was pleading with him with a burning sorrow in his chest. First Esau shed tears, and then his grief turned into wrath. In the event that their father passed away, he pledged to take Jacob's life. After becoming aware of the danger, Rebekah took immediate action. Jacob was separated from her and sent to her brother Laban in Haran. She instructed him, "Stay there until your brother's fury passes." That was her advice to him. The only thing that Jacob took with him as he went was the blessing and the responsibility of what he had done. He was alone and uncertain. One night while he was traveling, he made a quick break to sleep under the open sky with a stone serving as his pillow. During that night, he had a dream in which he saw angels climbing and descending a staircase that extended from earth in the direction of heaven. Furthermore, the Lord himself appeared atop it, and he addressed Jacob as follows: "I am the Lord, the God of your father Abraham and the God of Isaac." The Lord said to Abraham, "I am going to give the land that you are currently lying on to your descendants. The blessings of God will be bestowed upon every person on earth through you and your descendants. You have my support. I will keep a watchful eye on you." When Jacob awoke, he was filled with amazement and whispered, "Surely the Lord is in this place." He promised to follow the Lord there, and he gave it the name Bethel, which means house of God. A bowl of stew was the reward for the youngster who had grasped his brother's heel and bartered for it. Now that boy was the one who carried the covenant of God. There would be 12 sons born to him, each of whom would become the patriarch of a tribe. A nation, the nation of Israel, would emerge as a result of his family's involvement. And many years after that, from that group of individuals, there would come another child, born in a manger, who would carry the blessing not only for one family, but for the entire world. The narrative of Isaac, Jacob, and the birthright is not merely about partiality or duplicity. Rather, it is about the mysterious way in which God works through human weakness, through imperfect individuals, and through broken decisions in order to fulfill his promises. It's a dish of stew, a proposal that was discussed in hushed tones. Someone snatched a blessing. God utilized these threads to create the tapestry of redemption, one stitch at a time, and they were the strands that he employed. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.